instead of 6 here for Whitehaven and Gary Charlton's side. The 10 metres inside the Bradford half on the fifth and last tackle. Nicow Williams gets a high hanging kick. Pickersgill deals with that in the sunshine. Pickersgill having to shield his eyes. The sun bearing down there on the Bradford Bulls fullback. And Bradford now have their first use of the ball as they're moving out of dummy half with Danny Brough to Foggin Johnson. Johnson's brought down there by Nicow Williams in a two-man tackle. Also helped there by Chris Taylor, the Whitehaven centre, as Bradford go down the middle channel here with Joe Brown. Third tackle gone for the Bulls here. In there at dummy half is Doyle. It goes to Danny Brough. Along the line as Bradford somehow keep the ball alive and moving and flowing here with Jordan Lilly. Now it goes to Evans. Evans is rolled over 15 shy of halfway. Good tackle there by the winger Jason Mossop. Back down the middle channel they'll go with captain Steve Crossley. Crossley looks to offload the ball. He's thinking about it. Decides to keep hold of it. Last tackle here for the Bulls. They've made 30 metres. They're 10 shy of halfway. Lilly drills one along the carpet. That is going to bounce up kindly for the Jesse Joe Parker over on the Farstad side. And Jesse Joe Parker, after a little bit of hesitation there, he will take tackle number one for Whitehaven, 5 metres shy of that halfway line. A good fierce competitive start, Luke Mawson.
Yeah, just as we expected, both sides trading possession early on without making any errors. It's a really good playing surface and good conditions in the air as well, so we should be set for a good competitive game with not many errors hopefully this afternoon.
Well, we've had 2.5 minutes gone on the clock inside the stadium. Bradford 0, Whitehaven 0. If you're listening to myself, Mick Gledell and Luke Mawson this afternoon, a clever kick from Dixon is going to force Pickersgill to palm it back. Pickersgill dishalts the brakes and he's tackled 5 metres out from his own try line. So some good awareness there from Brandon Pickersgill. Put his body on the line and has certainly had a bit of a challenge from Jesse Joe Parker and of course Andy Bullman, who was racing across over on the far stand side. Jordan Lilly then out of dummy half. It goes just to the right of centre field as they're 10 metres in from the far stand side. Lilly back it goes with Evans. Evans head down, good carry. Good defensive line spiel here from Whitehaven in the opening exchanges as Danny Brough ships it wide. Here goes Pickersgill chiming into that line. Aaron Murphy, his first touch of the ball there, giving Pickersgill a chance. But Bradford on the last tackle again, deep inside their own half as Danny Brough kicks straight down the throat of Lachlan Walmsley. And Lachlan Walmsley, the 22-year-old, former South Sydney and Newcastle Knights academy player, he certainly lit up the recreation ground, or should that be the LERLEL arena, as Bradford have given away their first penalty of the afternoon. It's a 6 again because there was just a little bit of holding down in the tackle there for James Vella's liking, and he did look at Levi Nzongu. So the tackle count restarts with Whitehaven just inside the Bradford half here. They've got 4 tackles and the 40 metres out. Good defence though from Steve Crossley. Rodin in at dummy half. Goes towards Dixon. Dixon to Williams. Williams to Holiday. Holiday. Good contact. Good drive. But equally up to the task is Ben Evans and Tom Doyle. 35 metres out now. They'll quickly play the ball. Good strong run from Andy Dawson. Another Whitehaven player who's had time at Workington and Barrow. They're on the last tackle, Whitehaven. They're going to go for the power play here. Williams kicks ahead. Is he taken out? Is he impeded? Pickersgill's got ball in hand. Pickersgill wrapped up by Holiday inside his own 10-metre line. And as we said when we were talking to John Keir, high spirits during the week. The camp in a positive mood after the quick turnaround in form, which saw 2 back-to-back and very determined performances against Halifax and Dewsbury. Foggin Johnston. Third tackle gone for Bradford. They're struggling a little bit in the early exchanges here. They've not had to play the ball yet in the Whitehaven half. 5 minutes on the clock. Danny Brough realises the forwards are up for a real arm wrestle in the opening exchanges here. Kicks out a dummy half. That one goes straight down the throat of Lachlan Walmsley. Walmsley has to field that from inside his own 20-metre line, and he's brought down centre field, 25 metres out from his own try line in that centre field position as Williams fires it out of dummy half to Mossop. Mossop's rolled over on his back. He's the older brother of Lee Mossop, of course, who's at Salford. Back down the middle channel they'll go. Big collision here from Andy Dawson. Dawson's wrapped up there by England and also Evans. And there's a good scampering run here from the Wigan loanee, Aidan Roden. And that's the 4th tackle gone here for Whitehaven. 0-0. 6 minutes gone on the clock. Whitehaven playing the ball inside the Bradford half. On that fifth and last tackle, 40 metres out in a centre field position. Referee James Vella urging Bradford to go back to the 10. Roden out a dummy half to Williams. First mistake from Whitehaven. That has gone out on the full from Nico Williams, the young Kiwi who plays in the halves for Whitehaven, and Bradford now are going to have a full set of 6 just shy of the halfway line, so they've had to do it tough in the opening exchanges here. 6.5 minutes gone on the stadium clock as it goes out a dummy half from Brough towards Nzongo. Nzongo really impressed John Keir in the last 2 weeks. He's going to enjoy and relish the forward battle out here this afternoon. Jordan Lilly drops the shoulder, tries to pirouette his way past the Whitehaven defenders. Second tackle gone. Bradford finally inside the Whitehaven half here with Brad England, although England has had the ball come loose. Referee says it has come loose on contact. No complaints. 0 tackle for Whitehaven. That's Bradford's first error of the afternoon, and Whitehaven will move the ball over from the far stand side, which is the grandstand here at the recreation ground. For those that know the stadium, we're calling it from the stand directly opposite the seated stand this afternoon, so we stood on the terracing out in the sunshine enjoying the West Cumbrian weather, as Whitehaven really giving a good account of themselves. As we said, they've had 2 disappointing defeats on the road against Dewsbury and Featherstone last week. They're unbeaten at home this season, as the ball's been stolen there by Danny Brough. Referee says 1-on-1. That's the new rule that's come into play, and Danny Brough, the sharpest knife there in the cutlery drawer, Luke Mawson, he's given Bradford a huge chance.
Yeah, we saw last week against Dewsbury, Ben Evans pulled off a similar trick, and it's something we've seen a lot more at the start of this year, that one-on-one ball steal where the players peel off, and it's difficult for the officials to judge if there's more than one in the tackle at that point. But Bradford get the rub of the green with that, as Aaron Murphy takes Bradford into Whitehaven's 40 metres, and a chance for Bradford to build some sustained pressure on the Whitehaven line here.
Quick play of the ball. Doyle's in there at dummy half. Down the middle they go with Ben Evans. Bradford are on tackle number 4. 20 metres out in front of the Whitehaven post. Is this the moment the first points of the afternoon come? Lily's lost the ball backwards. Crossley picks it up. Crossley head down like a battering ram. He's brought down underneath the post, 5 metres out, on that fifth and last tackle here for the Bulls. It goes to Danny Brough. Brough to Pickersgill. Pickersgill to Oakes. Oakes, can he get in at the corner? The referee is going to say no try. It is a penalty to Whitehaven because Ross Oakes has gone behind his own man there. Well, that was a very harsh call in my professional opinion, but that will not count, and it is Whitehaven 0, Bradford 0, 8 minutes gone on the clock. Luke Mawson.
Yeah, Ross Oakes looked for all the world. He were going to go in for the game's first try there, and the referee seen something he didn't like, and Whitehaven got a penalty, and Bradford looked sharp in that attacking set. The first set they really had in the Whitehaven half, so promising signs there, but certainly a battle for the field position early on here.
Well, the foul touch, 30 metres out from their own try line, so we know we're in a bit of an arm wrestle if you are a Bradford Bulls supporter listening and joining us this afternoon, as Whitehaven, once again, fierce, forward running, good footwork there as that run was halted, and now the referee is going to give back-to-back penalties to Whitehaven. Bradford guilty of being inside the 10, and as we've already seen this weekend with that result yesterday afternoon, Oldham 16, Halifax 12, a Jack Croft try, which was a couple of minutes from the end. If you don't turn up with the right attitude in the Championship, expect to be burned. Simon Grix very deflated and disappointed with that Halifax performance yesterday. John Keir, no real cause for concern early doors. We've had 10 minutes gone, but Bradford defending 30 out from their own try line. Whitehaven looking for their first points of the afternoon. They're right in front of the Bradford post. Roden out to Williams. Williams, short ball there towards Holiday. Holiday's wrapped up there. Murphy had to come in. Brought the second row forward down underneath the post, just inside the Bradford 20. It goes out wide towards Dixon. Dixon's brought down there by England and Lilly. Good defence from the Bulls. The 10 metres out now, Whitehaven. Good strong drive down the middle with Andy Dawson. He had over 180 career appearances for Barrow. A lot of Championship pedigree. He's held up over the line, and Whitehaven will go back towards the 10 metre line. They're just to the left hand side of the post, attacking what is traditionally the home end here at the LEL Arena. It goes towards Williams to Holiday. Holiday to Wormsley. Wormsley out wide. Chance. Bradford have got the ball, but the ball's been lost in the tackle, and it's going to be the opening try, and it's Andy Bullman. It's of New Zealand with the England schoolboys. He's the former Hull FC academy man. Pickersgill had it. Pickersgill lost it. Fortuitous luck there for Whitehaven, but you make your own luck in this division, and Whitehaven have first points on the board this afternoon. Whitehaven giving the ball some zip and some whip. It was Williams to Wormsley. Wormsley, he was tackled by Oakes, somehow offloading the ball in the tackle, and Whitehaven lead here by 4-0, and we have had 12 minutes gone on the clock this afternoon. It is West Yorkshire Rugby League, also going out on Bulls TV for those watching in the future. But we have the first try of the afternoon, and it has gone against the Bradford Bulls. Luke Mawson.
Yeah, a couple of minutes there where Ross Oakes looked to have got the game's first try. It gets ruled out, and back-to-back penalties see Whitehaven go up and score at the other end. It's a funny old game, is rugby league sometimes, but just when Bradford looked to have averted the danger, they cough possession straight back up, and Whitehaven go for the game's first score. So on the balance of play, probably deserved, as more of the game has been to our right-hand side as we're looking at it, but Bradford need to start spending some time on the ball in the Whitehaven half, but that's easier said than done, as we've found out so far in this opening 10 minutes.
Well, it was a try right on this main stand touchline. Lachlan Wormsley, who's kicking at just 53% so far this year, 9 from 17. He has pushed that one across the face of the post, and the message from John Keir over on the far stand side is attitude, attitude, attitude. As we said, there's certainly a long, long way to go in this game, but after 13 minutes on West Yorkshire Rugby League Bulls TV, Mick Gledel, Luke Mawson, it is Whitehaven 4, Bradford 0, and Bradford certainly know they're going to be in one hell of an arm wrestle this afternoon up here in West Cumbria. On the restart then, Whitehaven just outside their own 20-metre line, and that's a good challenge there from Ellis Gillam, the former Warrington under-19s academy captain. He's now up here enjoying life at Whitehaven, as we see Holiday once again going through a lot of work. Two-man tackle there from Oakes and Brough. They move the ball right over here in front of our commentary position, and we're going to see Aaron Murphy and Danny Brough deal with that Whitehaven threat. Williams out of dummy half to Roden. Roden goes down that middle channel. Good challenge there on Tom Wilkinson. Whitehaven restricted to just 40 metres on the last tackle. Roden out of dummy half, straight down the throat of Pickersgill, and this will be the response of attitude that John Keir was shouting from that main stand. Because Bradford, a good defensive set now. What can they do in attackers? It goes out of dummy half from Joe Brown. Second tackle gone. Bradford 10 shy of that halfway line. If you're just joining us, a try to Andy Bullman, his third of the season, as the difference. And that's the early score for Whitehaven up here at the recreation ground and Gary Charlton's side. Levi Nzongo plays the ball on halfway. Joe Brown out of dummy half, trying to attack those Whitehaven markers. Fourth tackle gone. Bradford 5 metres inside the Whitehaven half. Down the middle it's going to go with Steve Crossley. Crossley, good tenacious drive there. Bradford on the last tackle, 30 metres out, centre field position. The look towards Danny Brough on this left-hand edge. It goes to Brough. Brough high, hanging kick. That's going to be a difficult one for Wormsley. Wormsley takes that one. He's immediately wrapped up there by Ben Evans. And Wormsley is pinged a metre out from his own try line, and now Bradford will look to hunt and put in a good defensive shift and potentially force the error. But here at the recreation ground in West Cumbria, it's Whitehaven 4, Bradford 0, as Whitehaven now just coming down the middle. They've had 3 tackles gone. They're still 10 metres out from their own try line. Levi Nzongo going through a lot of work in defence. Out of dummy half, Lachlan Wormsley is caught on the chest, says the referee. It looked a little bit suspiciously high from Ben Evans. Referee happy to say no penalty. And Bradford now have restricted Whitehaven to just 30 metres on that set of 6, although they've somehow offloaded the ball out of the tackle, and Whitehaven now are inside the Bradford half as Williams has it. Williams can't get past Brough. Brough wraps Williams up, and Williams is brought down 30 metres out from the Bradford try line on that last tackle. It goes from Roden to Dixon. Dixon kicks into space. Jordan Lilly cleans up at the back. Pickersgill was out of position there, and Jordan Lilly is going to be brought down 10 metres out from in front of his own post. But we've just seen Whitehaven, Luke Mawson, offloading the ball out of the tackle. That was very nearly a second try for Whitehaven.
Yeah, the home side look full of confidence at the minute. They might have the 10-11 players you mentioned out injured, but they're certainly not showing it in these early stages. Throwing the ball about well, finding gaps in the Bradford defence and going through them. And it's certainly a tough opening quarter for John Keir's side, and they're finding out why it is so hard to come away from here with a win.
Danny Brough looks for a 40-20. Whitehaven player has gone into touch, and that is going to be a play the ball for the Bradford Bulls. 35 metres out from the Whitehaven line. Andy Bullman tried to stop it going out for a 40-20, and in the end he rolled over into touch, and the touch judge says Bradford will have a play the ball 30 metres out. So, after doing a very tough opening here, it's been a very determined and dogged Whitehaven side. Bradford now have a chance for their first points. 16 minutes gone on the clock here. Whitehaven 4, Bradford 0. First penalty to the Bradford Bulls. Ben Evans, the former Warrington, London and Toulouse man, is caught high. Everyone looks towards John Keir. John Keir says we're not taking two. We are going to run the ball and try and sap some energy out of the Whitehaven tank. Levi Nzongo, tackle number 1, brought down 80 metres out in front of that Whitehaven posts. Centre field. Doyle has options to the left with Brough. Goes to the right with Crossley. Crossley shows a huge dummy, and Steve Crossley shows the dummy and will go underneath the post for Bradford's first try of this afternoon's game. Whitehaven 4, Bradford 6, and Steve Crossley, he's been doing big minutes recently. He's averaging 64 minutes on the past 2 games, and Steve Crossley, well, we talked about Danny Brough and Jordan Lilly. Well, Steve Crossley normally plays in the front row. He threw an outrageous dummy. He sold it to Lachlan Wormsley, and he goes underneath the post on a pause from 20 metres out. Wonderful stuff from the Bulls.
We've seen George Flanagan's legacy living on in this Bradford side, Mick. Great bit of skill from Steve Crossley there, throwing the dummy, racing home from 20 metres like a Danny Brough in his heyday. And just a response Bradford needed, because it's been a real struggle this opening 20 minutes as Danny Brough converts. Whitehaven certainly up for this one this afternoon, and Bradford will need more work with the likes of penalties that got them up the field, because they're struggling to make the yardage so far. So full credit to Whitehaven, and they're certainly shown themselves up well in this first quarter.
How important is it, Luke, that they've been given the penalty? They've had a fresh set of 6 deep inside Whitehaven territory, and they have put points on the board.
Well, it's the first time we've really seen Bradford with a sustained set in Whitehaven territory, and if you're not going to have many opportunities, the Whitehaven defence have held up firm and look like they're going to hold up firm throughout the match. You need to take the chances when they come, and they had the chance with Ross Oakes, that was ruled out for crossing, but then the second time they've been up there, it's important that you put points on the board, and Bradford have done that.
Well, it's West Yorkshire Rugby League, Bulls TV, Mick Gledall, Luke Mawson, Danny Brough from in front. Bradford 6, Whitehaven 4. It's looking a little bit better for John Keir's side, but make no illusions from what we've seen in the opening 20 minutes here this afternoon. A real arm wrestle is taking place here at the recreation ground as on the restart. Whitehaven are penalised for being inside the 10, and all of a sudden the penalty count now is 3-2, still favouring the hosts. And that is for messing around at the play the ball, not offside, I beg your pardon. There was a push at the play the ball on Steve Crossley, and Danny Brough now will fire the ball into touch 40 metres out from that Whitehaven try line. Well, as we said with John Keir, high spirits for Gary Charlton's side this afternoon. He was looking to improve and tighten up aspects of his side's game. They've worked hard during the week in training and have made more of a focus on defence and ball work. Well, we've certainly seen that coming to fruition in the opening 20 minutes this afternoon. But here come the Bulls. They're charging forward, 20 metres out. Evans, Doyle, Crossley. Does Crossley fancy another? He offloads the ball behind to Evans. Evans wrapped up there by Williams, and Williams does well. Also coming in over the top there was Andy Dawson. Here goes Steve Crossley, like a battering ram. Offloads the ball to Doyle. Doyle meets Holiday head on, and Bradford now 10 metres out in front of that Whitehaven try line. Danny Brough in at dummy half. It goes to Nzongo. Nzongo head down, rolled over, 5 metres out in front of the post. Bradford on the last tackle. Are they going to go back to back. It goes to Danny Brough, to Lilly, to Pickersgill. Bradford have numbers stacked, and Joe Brown will cross in the far stand corner, and it is Whitehaven 4, Bradford 10. Joe Brown in sensational form. He has 4 tries now for the season. He scored 2 last week in that 35-14 win over the Dewsbury Rams. And Joe Brown, the 22-year-old, well, he is one of 8 homegrown players in this Bradford 21-man squad for this game, and he's one of 6 out there on the field, and that was like rugby league poetry. Luke Mawson, and again on the back of some ill discipline from Whitehaven, Bradford punish Whitehaven.
There's a reason coaches stress the need for discipline every minute of every game, and we've seen 3 tries in this opening quarter all come on the back of sets where penalties have been given. Discipline is so important, and Bradford there getting into the Whitehaven 40 without much effort, and then some great attacking shape on that right hand side. Pickersgill coming out of the back, finding Joe Brown for strolling in the corner. As we see Brough kick from the touchline, and that kick straight between the posts. Fantastic conversion from Danny Brough out wide. So Bradford, who haven't really had much of the ball in this game so far, lead 12-4.
I was just going to say, Luke Mawson, Pickersgill, Lilly, the way Doyle shifted that ball from just to the left-hand side of the post. Whitehaven, they ran out of numbers because there was that many players in that defensive area underneath the post trying to bring down Levy Nzongu and then Steve Crossley. And Danny Brough, who is kicking at 88% this season, now makes it 2 from 2. And as you quite rightly say, Bradford have an 8-point lead, and Bradford getting a real feel for this game. We've had 21 minutes gone this afternoon at the recreation ground. Mick Gledell and Luke Mawson, and we've had 2 back-to-back tries from the Bradford Bulls as after that early enthusiasm and effort and endeavour from Whitehaven is that about to wane as Brough gives it along the line towards Murphy. Murphy, the former Huddersfield Giant man, rolled over in a 3-man tackle, and the referee will say that is tackle number 3. They're 5 metres shy of halfway here as they go on the short-hand side to Doyle, to Oakes. Oakes inside the Whitehaven half, brought down there by Williams and Taylor in a 2-man tackle. The 2 metres inside the Whitehaven half as Danny Brough promotes the ball along the line to Pickersgill, to Lilly. Lilly floats it out to Brown. Brown kicks ahead, does it? Brown's lost the ball. That's come off a Whitehaven player. I don't think that was played at Luke Mawson. The referee is going to say that will be a play the ball for Whitehaven, and I guess for Joe Brown, he was being cut down over on that far stand side, so it was either going to touch or try and kick the ball. Unfortunately, the ball's come off the Whitehaven player, but I don't think the Whitehaven player knew much about it. 22 minutes gone this afternoon, Whitehaven 4, Bradford 12.
Yeah, another good bit of invention from Bradford just inside their own half as well, so pleasing for any Bradford supporters tuning in this afternoon to see the ball being thrown about again. And unfortunately, it just didn't come off, and Joe Brown's kick ended up rebounding into touch, but they've responded well since going behind of Bradford, and they're starting to establish a bit of a stronghold in this one. Whitehaven having to do some hard work coming out of their own end, but they're on halfway here with 3 tackles, so they'll look to try return the favour in the sense and get points back on the board and establish some field position.
Whitehaven now 10 metres inside the Bradford half. Carl Alstrom, one of the interchange forwards for Gary Charlton's side, has just come on the field, so they're going through the interchanges. It's a hot, humid, energy-sapping afternoon here at the recreation ground, and Whitehaven now at 25 metres out from that Bradford try line as Wormsley to Williams. Williams now to Holiday. Holiday's rolled over. Fifth and last tackle. They're 20 metres out underneath the post, centre field. Roden to Williams. They go over on the short-hand side. A clever little chip over the top from Williams. Pickersgill alert to the danger. Taylor tries to push Pickersgill back into the Bradford in goal area, and Williams and Taylor have done that, and Brandon Pickersgill protests, as does D. Foggin Johnston, but the referee is going to say the momentum wasn't stopped, and Brandon Pickersgill has just been pushed back in the in-goal area, and Whitehaven have forced the first goal line dropout of the afternoon. Well, earlier on today it was another defeat for Newcastle, this time very narrow home defeat, their first home defeat of the season by 28 points to 16. Batley now have 3 wins from 4, and Craig Lingard really revitalising the Bulldogs. I was at the Batley Widnes game a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you, they put Widnes to the cleaners. Bradford have now conceded their second 6 again, a slow play the ball, hands in at the ruck, says the referee, and Whitehaven now look to get their second try. Although they're not going to get the second try, because no sooner have Whitehaven been given their second six again, 20 metres out from the Bradford try line, Aidan Roden out of dummy half, a short pass to Tom Wilkinson, and the former Askham amateur has dropped the ball cold. Huge relief and respite there for John Keir and the Bradford Bulls. 15 minutes to go to half-time. Whitehaven 4, Bradford 12.
Yeah, just as Whitehaven looked like they were winning that field position battle and pinning Bradford inside their own half, they come up with an error, and very few errors so far in this game, and that'll frustrate Gary Charlton and the Whitehaven campers. Just to look to be getting the upper hand there, and Bradford looked to be struggling to come out of their own end. They had a real opportunity there, but I'm sure they'll get more opportunities and they'll learn more opportunities as this game goes on. As Eben Skir with his first carry takes 5 Whitehaven defenders, Wheelerman goes 20 metres. The Bradford Bulls battering rams on, and he'll certainly help the Bulls get some yardage down the middle of the pitch as Jordan Lilly scampers on a break. A half break by Jordan Lilly takes him into Whitehaven's 40 metre line, and that is a 4th tackle as Bradford will look to set up the last play and an attacking kick here.
Great play there from Eben Skir. He's got the strapping around the forehead. Bradford on the last tackle, 30 metres out. Steve Crossley will play the ball right in front of the post. Danny Brough calls for it. Danny Brough's going to kick. He's going to put Lachlan Walmsley under a lot of pressure here. Walmsley from his own goal takes it under pressure. The sun shining down on his face, and it's going to be a tap on the 20 metre line here for Whitehaven. And the former South Sydney Rabbitoh Academy player will make 10-12, make that 15 metres there from that 20 metre restart. And that, of course, is a 0 tackle, although the referee's given Whitehaven another set restart here because he's not happy with the speed of the play of the ball. So currently it's 3 penalties and 3 set restarts to Whitehaven. Bradford have just had the 2 penalties and no set restarts, so they're certainly doing it tough here. 12-4 they lead as Whitehaven moving out of dummy half there as it goes from Aidan Roden. Here goes Ronan Michaels. Michaels out there on the field, the Irish international. Floats it over on the far stand side to James Newton. Newton's wrapped up 10 metres inside the Bradford half here. We're fast approaching the 27th minute here. And this one, as we said, very fierce and very fiercely contested. Very tight game here in the sunshine. As it goes from Aidan Roden, it goes along the line to Dixon. Now it goes to Williams. Williams to Holiday. Holiday tries to plod his course through the Bulls' defence. But in comes Steve Crossley at the side and wraps him up. Last tackle for Whitehaven. Danger for the Bulls as William gives it to Bullman. Defogging Johnston can't bring Bullman down. Bullman's offloaded the ball towards Walmsley. Walmsley's bundled into touch. Good defence from the Bradford Bulls. Aaron Murphy and Ross Oakes on that occasion. It remains here at the recreation ground. Whitehaven 4, Bradford 12. And when I was talking to Gary Charlton, the Whitehaven head coach, during the week, he stressed they're only a part-time team with many players working 12-hour shifts at Sellafield. They've only had 3 hours training this week, and we don't want to keep going on about it, but they do have 10 players currently out injured. But what a performance this has been from Whitehaven. They're asking a lot of questions of this Bradford Bulls defensive line. Bradford had to soak up a hell of a lot of pressure, and now they're going to attack from deep as Bradford are rewarded their first 6 again here as there's hands on in the ruck, delaying the play the ball there from Rhys Evans as Dan Fleming has come on the field. His second spell at Bradford, remember, via Toronto and Halifax, and he's brought down 15 metres shy of the halfway line. Whitehaven just starting to tire, you feel, as Eben Skir has broken clear, and Eben Skir is going to make 40 metres down the middle. Brandon Pickersgill was being held back off the ball. That should be 10 minutes in the sin bin, and John Keir is calling for the 2 points here. It is in centre field position, 40 metres out from the post. Danny Brough does not want to go for 2. Brough's going to go for touch, so he's overruled John Keir on that occasion, and we're going to see what happens here now. That should be 10 minutes in the bin. Lachlan Walmsley was holding back Brandon Pickersgill after Eben Skir had made that thunderous break through the heart and soul of this Whitehaven defence. If Bradford cross the chalk here, they probably will not be as incensed, and the complaint might be suddenly dropped. Here goes Doyle. Doyle now to Skir. Skir strapping around that forehead, rolled over, 5 metres out from that Whitehaven try line. 10 minutes to go to half time. Can Bradford get their third score of the afternoon? Head down from Doyle. Out of dummy half. Ronan Michaels pushes him back in the field of play. Here goes Danny Brough along the line to Lilly. Lilly to Pickersgill. Pickersgill cuts through and Pickersgill's over. Momentum takes him over the line and Brandon Pickersgill has his second try of the season. He is one of 10 ever presents in this Bradford Bulls side this season. And just before half-time, Bradford have further extended their lead. It is Whitehaven 4, Bradford 16. Danny Brough 2 from 2 so far this afternoon. That one's been scored 10 metres in from touch. And there could be a chance here for Danny Brough to potentially put Bradford 3 scores clear approaching half-time. Luke Mawson, once again, it's just the speed of the play, the ball from Bradford, the good, quick, fast hands. Pickersgill through a gap, momentum took him over the line. 3 tries to the Bulls.
The match has been a real arm wrestle so far, but where Bradford have been far superior is in that Whitehaven 20-30 metres. They've been clinical, they've got over the line 4 times out of 4 opportunities. One of them obviously ruled out for crossing early on through Ross Oakes, but Whitehaven making it really tough for Bradford to get yards up the pitch. But once they do, they're very clinical in that final quartile. So full credit to Bradford, some real good attacking shape, but they've been made to work for this one with Brough's kick once again going straight through the posts. Bradford lead 18-4, but perhaps a tad unfair on Whitehaven, who've shown up really well so far.
They certainly have, Luke Mawson, and when you look at that injury list and what they've gone through so far this season, they had the very narrow defeat away at Dewsbury. They then beat Newcastle here by 29 points to 20. Last week was a little bit unfair on them, I thought, because 28 of those 48 points from Featherstone come in the final 20 minutes, but they have certainly in recent performances at home against Dewsbury and Newcastle show that they are tough, they are hard working, and they really thrive on that underdog status. That works in their favour, and we've certainly seen a very hungry and tenacious Whitehaven performance thus far, but unfortunately that will only take you so far, and I think what we're seeing now is that the Bulls are clicking into gear as Brandon Pickersgill goes straight out of dummy half for 10 easy metres on the restart. Danny Brough, once again a fantastic conversion, 18 points to 4 here. We've got 8 minutes to go to half time. Do Bradford have any more points in them? What an impact Eben Skur has made as it goes now to Danny Brough. Brough has offloaded the ball out of the tackle behind him towards Doyle. Doyle's going to be brought down 5 metres shy of the halfway line on tackle number 4. Brough's in there at dummy half. It goes back down the middle here with Steve Crossley. Crossley inside the Whitehaven half. Bradford on the restart. They've made nearly 60 metres. The 10 metres inside the Whitehaven half on the last. Jordan Lilly, a perfect high hanging kick looking for Jesse Joe Parker. Parker does exceptionally well. He was under pressure there from Brad England and Rhys Evans. And Whitehaven now are going to have to attack from deep because Bradford haven't pinged 20 metres out from their own try line. Lachlan Walmsley out of dummy half. His run is halted there by Doyle and also England. And when we talk about Thomas Doyle, 77 minutes he did last week against Dewsbury. And now Whitehaven have been awarded another 6 again because Bradford were just laying on in that tackle. A fraction too late for the referee's liking. So 6 again. Whitehaven up to halfway. It goes out of dummy half towards Williams. Williams to Holiday. Holiday's wrapped up. A metre inside the Bradford half. We've got 6 minutes to go to half-time here as Newton floats a wobbler. And Whitehaven now knocking on that Bradford door. 35 metres out now as it goes towards Dixon. Dixon to Walmsley. Walmsley, good line speed, but that's a great tackle there from Brad England. It had to be. Whitehaven shift the ball across the face of the post now to Williams. Williams tries to dummy his way past Murphy and Crossley. He can't. And in the energy-sapping conditions here at the Wreck, they're on the last tackle, 20 metres out. Dixon looking for Bullman in the corner. Bullman takes it! Bullman! Bundled into touch by Defogging Johnston. He just went the wrong side of the corner flag, and that's great defence from Defogging Johnston. He waited for the Whitehaven winger, Andy Bullman, for his feet to hit the turf, and he bundled him out with all the pressure and might of the world. We've got 5 minutes to go to half-time. Bradford will have a full set of 6, 10 metres out from their own line, but it's Whitehaven 4, Bradford 18.
Another good attacking set from Whitehaven, benefiting from another 6 again, but throwing some good shape in attack and nice little dink on that last tackle play, and Defogging Johnson did the right thing, didn't try to compete and give away his position. He just waited for the man to collect the ball and take him into touch, as he was very, very close in a tight corner there. So smart play from Defogging Johnson. Anthony Walker's on the pitch. Some real power out there for Bradford. There's a lot to protect and potentially extend the lead going into the break.
Bradford have ball in hand. This is Dan Fleming now. Fleming scored a try against Halifax. That kick-started Bradford's recovery after those defeats against Featherstone and Sheffield. Here goes Danny Brough to Pickersgill. Chris Taylor has touched that, and that is going to be a knock-on from Whitehaven, and Bradford now have a full set of 6 inside the Whitehaven half. And we've got 4 minutes remaining. 4 minutes remaining before the half-time hooter. Can Bradford get any more points in this first half? They've had to do it tough, as we said. It's been a very hard-working and tenacious Whitehaven side, and certainly, as we mentioned at the start of the show this afternoon, they are the ultimate rugby league ambush predator. They wait for teams to make the long, arduous journey, then they get here, and Whitehaven, like to get you cold, but Bradford warming up now, and the pot is starting to simmer as Eben Skur takes 3 Whitehaven players with him. 35 metres out from that Whitehaven try line. Doyle in there at dummy half to Ant Walker, the Welsh international Ant Walker. He's made 20 metres there down the middle. Bradford inside the Whitehaven 20. Doyle now to Brough. Brough to Murphy. Murphy looking to offload behind him to Pickersgill. Decides to keep hold of it. 5 metres out now. Left-hand side of the post. Back across the face they go. They go probing with Brough. Brough lays it there towards Fleming. Fleming, huge tilt, huge frame of a man. He's brought down on top of that Whitehaven line. Last tackle here for the Bulls. They go on that right-hand side again. England's going to be halted up on top of the Whitehaven line, and that's a great defensive tackle from Jason Mossop and Ellis Gillam, because Brad England ever so close, ever so near there for getting Bradford's third try. And with 3 minutes remaining, Luke Mawson, John Keir will not mind in the slightest, leading by 18 points to 4, turning over that ball 2 metres out from your opponent's line.
No, sometimes you're either not good enough or the skill isn't good enough to get over the line. So instead of giving away a 7-tackle set by forcing a kick, sometimes just turning over possession on the line is the right thing to do. And ultimately, it's a defensive set that makes that decision a good or a bad one. And so far, it's a good decision from Bradford. Whitehaven just 20 metres away from their own line, and we're on tackle 4. Bradford winning this field position battle as we head towards the break.
Well, we've got around 90 seconds to go to half-time here. We must say it's not the official clock. It's just a clock that says we have 90 seconds. Referee says last tackle, arm in the air. It goes to Williams. Williams kicks towards the corner looking for Brown. That's straight down the throat of Joe Brown, and Brown from his own 30-metre line runs ever so slightly in field. There's a loud slap there on contact with Newton, and he'll play the ball 10 shy of the halfway line. Here goes Rhys Evans, twin brother of Bradford loose forward Ben. Plays the ball. Lillian at dummy half. Here goes Ant Walker again. He's made 10 metres. He's offloaded the ball, although the ball has been dropped there by Dan Fleming, and Whitehaven might have a late chance here just before the half-time hooter, as a very silly penalty is conceded by Tom Doyle as Lachlan Walmsley tried to play the ball there. Tom Doyle's foot got in the way. I'm not quite sure if Tom Doyle knew much about that, but Whitehaven have found touch 20 metres out from the Bradford try line, and it's saying that we have 60 seconds remaining at the end of this first half, plus any additional time. So they've certainly got enough time for a full set of 6 on the Bradford line. Referee James Vella says he has to tap the ball there, does Chris Taylor, which he finally does. So here we go, Ronan Michaels down the middle. Big collision there between Michaels and Skur, and also Fleming involved in that tackle. They're shifted over on that far stand side as it goes towards Dixon. Dixon's brought down 10 metres out. Has Dixon lost the ball there? Referee says he's managed to maintain possession. Michaels to Williams. It goes now towards Connor Holliday. He's had a try already this season. He's rolled backwards. Whitehaven 10 metres out, knocking on the Bulls' door. Newton out of dummy half, doesn't know what to do with the ball, tries to burrow past Fleming and Walker. He's on top of the Bradford line here. 4th tackle gone. Chance underneath the post here for Michaels. One-man stuff from Whitehaven here. And Whitehaven on the last tackle now, still underneath the Bradford post. It goes towards Dixon. Dixon to Wormsley. Wormsley right in front of the post, kicks into the in-goal area. A Whitehaven player's been taken out. The referee, James Vella, is going to say goal line dropout. There's a collision in back play there between Murphy and Fleming. The touch judge hasn't come on the field, and the referee is going to say goal line dropout with time up here. We've just hit the 40th minute here.
I think that you can file that one into the 6 of one, half a dozen of the other category. I think you got that many bodies colliding into each other. Sometimes you just got to accept contact is inevitable. There's a couple of unhappy punters around me, but how the referee can establish, somebody's purposely taking someone out there. In his defence, I don't know if he can. Danny Brough just takes the ball dead and a goal line dropout as Aaron Murphy and Ant Walker receive some treatment, as I think they're the ones who collided into each other there. But I find it very, very tough for referee James Vella to have picked a couple of Bradford players out in that schmozzle, if that's a word.
Well, I think you've only got to look at the carnage that's been left behind. Ant Walker and Aaron Murphy, they're the players who are receiving the attention. We've got still time off here. Aaron Murphy is just having the HIA. He's been given the all clear by the Bulls physio, so he's now going to have a bit of strapping of pride to the forehead. This is Rugby League, Championship Rugby League. It's very tough. And Aaron Murphy gets the all clear now. And with the clock stopped, there's only seconds remaining at the end of this first half. I'd certainly like to have a look at that incident again. Should it have been a penalty to Whitehaven or even a penalty to Bradford, because two Bradford players ended up in the treatment room, but they're both okay to continue out there on the field. So the dropout will reach Jesse Joe Parker on tackle number 1. Whitehaven now with Jesse Joe Parker again. He's only just taken the second tackle. The hooter sounds. Penalty underneath the posts here, 20 metres out, just as the hooter sounds, and that is because Bradford were inside the 10. It is Whitehaven's 5th penalty in this first half, and with the hooter having sounded, Lachlan Wormsley looks towards Gary Charlton and he says we'll bring on the kicking tee and we'll try and make it a 2-score game. As we said, with the hooter already having sounded, to give the referee credit there, the whistle went a fraction of a second before the hooter. Bradford inside the 10, and Bradford just couldn't hold on there, but certainly a performance with more positives than negatives from the Bradford Bulls in this first half. They've certainly had to do it tough, but they've had 3 tries from Steve Crossley, Joe Brown and Brandon Pickersgill. Lachlan Wormsley, just 9 from 18 attempts so far this season. 50%. This one, though, right in front. Could be a crucial 2 points this come the end of the game. It brings them back within 2 converted tries, which Lachlan Wormsley does. The 22-year-old South Sydney Newcastle Knights Academy junior, and it is his penalty conversion right there on the stroke of half-time.
And that first half, so they're completing quite well. But certainly want to make more yardage and just see this game off early on in the second half as the boot of Lachlan Wormsley gets us underway.
I was just going to say, Luke, when you look at the stats in the first half, yes, Bradford have conceded 5 penalties and 4 set restarts and 2 goal line dropouts, but they've only come up with just 2 errors, so a very high completion rate in that first half once again, as Bradford, they have a 12-point lead here as they go from left to right now in this second half, as we're going to see Eben Skur start the second half, going through a lot of work. It's difficult to tell between Skur and Murphy because it's casualty ward 10, but here's a good footwork here from England. England rolled over there by Mossop and Dixon in a 2-man tackle. Lily out a dummy half. Goes with Ant Walker. Ant Walker looks for support. No inside runner. Bradford up to halfway on the last tackle on the restart. The start of this second half. Danny Brough kicks straight downtown into space, and that will split Bullman and Wormsley. And Wormsley has to take that from his own 30-metre line, and he's going to be brought down just 15 metres out from the halfway line, although the referee's going to say Danny Brough has stolen the ball after the tackle's completed this time. Luke Mawson, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, I just had a bit of an itch. What have we just said about the indiscipline and not giving away silly piggyback penalties, and the start to the second half has mirrored the start to the first, and they can't keep giving Whitehaven the position, because they showed in that first half that they'll pin you in inside your own half if you let them come into it. So not the best start to the second half from a Bradford perspective, but 18-6 on the board. They certainly don't want that deficit reducing anytime soon.
Well, Bradford are going to have to do some early defence here. We've had a minute gone in this second half. 39 minutes remain here as Doyle and Murphy and Brough have to come in, and they have to bring down the frame there of Liam Cooper, who's back on for this second half. Here come Whitehaven now with Dixon to Walmsley. Jesse Joe Parker in at the corner. Jesse Joe Parker will score in at the corner. He goes past Brandon Pickersgill and Joe Brown, and that is just the response that Gary Charlton, the Whitehaven head coach, would have asked for, demanded after half-time. It's come after a very silly penalty given away by Danny Brough, and Whitehaven, they make that possession and territory count on the scoreboard. Jesse Joe Parker, the 35-year-old Papua New Guinea international, he has a testimonial year up here at Whitehaven, and Jesse Joe Parker rolling back the years there. It was a simple cut-out ball, and Jesse Joe Parker flirted with the touchline, defended. It was like a bump and a barge, a fend off Brandon Pickersgill and Joe Brown, and he puts that ball down in at the corner. So Whitehaven 10, Bradford Bulls 18 here, and we're about to see a conversion attempt right on this main stand side from Lachlan Walmsley. We've had 42 minutes gone here at the recreation ground. Lachlan Walmsley just kicking from 50% so far this afternoon, but this could be a crucial conversion attempt for the young Australian. Looking very cool and composed, the kick predictor. It's only at 26%. It's right on this main stand touchline here as he gives it an almighty hoof, and that one's just going to shave the left hand upright. So very unlucky there from young Lachlan Walmsley. It's Bulls TV, West Yorkshire Rugby League, Whitehaven 10, Bradford Bulls 18. But we've just seen Jesse Joe Parker, Luke Mawson get the first points of the second half, and that has come off after another silly penalty.
Yeah, we certainly don't need to keep gifting Whitehaven field position and the worst possible start to the second half, and that won't be the message John Keir said in the sheds at the break. But we saw Bradford respond really well in the first half to an early score for Whitehaven, and we'll need the same again, as don't want to encourage Whitehaven, who are only 8 points behind now on 2 scores, to come back to this one.
Well, don't forget, later on this evening, it's Swinton against Widnes, and also York. They travel to Dewsbury. But here at the recreation ground, Whitehaven 10, Bradford 18. So it's 2 tries against 3, and Newton out a dummy half towards Williams. Nico Williams gives it to Chris Taylor, and he's one of the more experienced players up here in Whitehaven, been at the club since 2014, and here goes James Newton straight out a dummy half. On the restart, they're on the last tackle just inside the Bradford half. Williams, a high hanging kick, that's got a bit of weight on it. Pickersgill and Brown. Oh, good job the T-Cass was switched on there. There was no mid-air collision, and Pickersgill takes that one out on his own try line, and he's rolled over 10 metres out. So Bradford might just have to roll the sleeves up in this second half and realise they've got a bit of a tough assignment, but so far so good for Bradford on their second full set of 6 here, because they're 20 metres out from their own line on the second tackle. England plays the ball. Lilly towards Evans. Evans just puts the head down. It's simple stuff from the Bulls. Protects the ball under a tackle from Cooper and Dixon. Gets to his feet, he'll play it. He'll go from Lilly in at dummy half. Down the middle it's going to go here with Brown. Brown's wrapped up. Bradford, they are 10 metres shy of the halfway line. It's going to go to Danny Brough. Danny Brough is going for the power play on the last, but they've got a 6 again, says referee James Vella. Bradford's second 6 again. So that's come on the 5th and last tackle. Danny Brough realising that the referee was raising the arm as Eben Skur, another big destructive force, has gone down the middle channel here for the Bradford Bulls. Skur's rolled over, 40 metres out. Down the middle now with Doyle. More direct, more impact. Bradford up in the intensity and speed of the game here. Brough in at dummy half. Now it goes to Walker. Walker inside the Whitehaven 20-metre line. Referee urging Whitehaven back the required 10. It goes now to Lilly inside there towards Skur. Skur 10 metres out underneath the Whitehaven post here. Bradford 18, Whitehaven 10. Last tackle. It goes to Lilly. Lilly through a gap. Lilly is halted and his dangerous run is stopped. 2 metres out from the Whitehaven line. It had to be a tackle from Carl Alstrom, and the former Workington man wraps up the Bradford scrum half, and the chance comes to nothing. Whitehaven 10, Bradford 18.
Yeah, good attacking set from Bradford there, and as we mentioned in the first half, turn the ball over close to the line. It's how you defend it, and we'll need some good line speed here from Bradford to pin Whitehaven in and start to establish some field position in this second half. But promising attacking set. Geordie looked like he was in then. He looked to be taken around the shoulder. Some scrambling defence from Whitehaven, but another 6 again. Dan Fleming's leg was stuck in the legs of the Whitehaven. There's not much he could have done there, but ultimately the referee was left with no choice.
Well, we've already seen 7 6 again so far from the referee. I do have my notebook here, and he was the same referee from the Sheffield game, so when I get a moment I'll have a look and see what we ended up with after that game. But Whitehaven in control here despite trailing by 8 points, and Bradford just have to keep an eye here on Nico Williams trying to offload the ball out the back door, but Fleming comes in, wraps that ball carrying arm up, and that's good defence there from Fleming. Also helped there by Aaron Murphy. Whitehaven up to halfway here. Ronan Michaels, he takes 3 Bradford players with him. One of those is Brad England. Walmsley now. Can't get past Jordan Lilly and Tom Doyle. Last tackle here for Whitehaven. 30 metres out from the Bradford line. Dixon out wide towards Williams. Williams, a clever chip over the top. He's played for the penalty, in my opinion. It's a penalty in front of the post. Aaron Murphy looks towards the referee. He was stood like a statue. He pleads his innocence. And Williams showing a little bit of experience for 20 years of age there. That is a penalty to Whitehaven right in front of the post. They now have 7 penalties and 5 set restarts. John Keir will not be happy with his side's discipline because we have 48 minutes gone on the clock, and Whitehaven now, they're not going for 2 to make it a 6-point game. They are looking for 4 or potentially 6 points as Liam Cooper takes tackle number 1 underneath the Bradford post, 5 metres out. It goes from Newton to Dixon to Walmsley. Walmsley, chance gone begging, line open there. If Jason Mossop takes that in, he is over the line, and perhaps that is fortuitous luck there from the Bradford Bulls, and the planets have aligned, and referee James Vella just asking Danny Brough where they want the ball, and they're going to take it in centre field. Whitehaven 10, Bradford 18, 49 minutes gone.
Yeah, Mossop just struggled to take that one because it was about 10 yards in front of him, but they got to the same decision in the end, and Bradford coming out of their own 20 metres with a set now, and Whitehaven certainly looking enthusiastic at the start of this second half, and Bradford need to start enjoying some ball in Whitehaven territory and get control of this game, because it's becoming another real arm wrestle and not the start to the second half John Keir would have wanted for his side.
Was given Bradford another 6 again, so Bradford now have another 6 again. That's 8 6 agains we've seen, and I just looked to see what happened in that Sheffield game, and they give 9 6 agains. Danny Brough looking over on the far stand side, and I'm not quite sure what Danny Brough was doing there. He's put boot to ball. It was nowhere near the last tackle from the halfway line. I think it was a short, shallow kick ahead, looking for Defogging Johnston on that main stand side, but Defogging Johnston knew nothing about that, and that one has gone out on the full, and that's a bit of a car crash there from the Bulls.
Whitehaven have just come up with an error. Oh, criminal. That's an absolute coach killer, but Bradford need to get some composure here. Giving away far too much position, and a real opportunity now. They've had Whitehaven come up with 2 errors now on the back of 2 players and letting Bradford establish some field position, but Bradford can't rely on Whitehaven all this second half. They're going to need to see this game out and be a lot smarter.
Whitehaven 10, Bradford 18. Just a try to Jesse Joe Parker 2 minutes into the second half. But Whitehaven, They've just come up with their third error of the afternoon, and Bradford now looking to counter and make that pay as Bradford go rampaging down the middle with Ross Oakes. Ross Oakes is brought down 20 metres out from the Whitehaven line. Can Bradford get their fourth try here? They still have a 2-score cushion as Danny Pruff across the face of the post to Ebensker. Ebensker brought down 5 metres out. Quick play the ball by Ebensker. That's a penalty right in front of the post here. Lachlan Walmsley didn't even make an effort to move here. And there's a lot of disgruntlement from the Whitehaven players, but Lachlan Walmsley knew what he was doing there. A professional foul for mine. That's the second time they might have had a player in the sin bin. Referee James Vella keeps the card in his pocket. Can Bradford, though, pinch the pocket of Whitehaven here and get their fourth try? Fleming plays the ball, goes out to Bruff. Bruff towards Murphy. Murphy has a tilt at the line, and he's brought down there by Williams. Amina out. Just to the left-hand side of the post. Bruff back in centre field to Lilly, to Walker. Walker, head down, looks to keep the ball going along the line, but good defence from Whitehaven. Wraps Ant Walker up. The 29-year-old Welsh international plays the ball, goes from Doyle to Skur. Skur head down, and Eben Skur has touched down at the side of the post, and Eben Skur, his trajectory keeps ascending higher and higher, and the former Wetherby and Stanley amateur, he has his second try of the season, and the 20-year-old, well, he brings impact off the bench, and let me tell you, he's out of contract at the end of this year. Someone, Bradford, get him signed up. He is the crown, he is the diamond in the jewels, and he has just extended Bradford's lead. It is now Whitehaven 10, Bradford 22 here, and Danny Bruff will attempt the conversion from underneath the post. Much better there from the Bulls.
We saw a nice break on that left edge from Ross Oakes, established a field position in that set, and every time Bradford are near the Whitehaven line, don't like they could score, but there's very few opportunities near the Whitehaven line, but when they do get there, they look like taking those opportunities, and some more good play down this right hand side, a nice ball out of the back from Thomas Doyle, catching the Whitehaven defence at 6s and 7s, and Ebensker head down, run through 2 defenders to touchdown for his second try of the season. Prolific try scorer.
Well, in forward terms he is. Kick predictor 100% for Danny Bruff. Right in front, Bruff 4 from 4. He's now kicking at 94% for the season. Wow. 19 points last week in his 500th league game. This is appearance 501. And if you add on the 8 points this afternoon, he is now on 3,752 career points. West Yorkshire Rugby League, Bulls TV, Mick Gledall, Luke Mawson here at the Recreation Ground. Whitehaven 10, Bradford 24, and Bradford have restored their 3-score cushion here, and we've had 54 minutes gone on the stopwatch, and certainly Bradford now, they have a bit of a safety net and a bit of cushion, but they can't take their eyes off this Whitehaven side. As we said, they're full of hunger and tenacity, and it's always a tough challenge coming here, but John Keir and Mark Dunning's job is to make sure the players are fully aware of the threat, and I'm sure the players are more than fully aware of the threat. As Eben Skur, the try scorer, plays the ball on halfway. Here goes Lilly. Lilly makes short meters there. Push back inside his own half. Good tackling there from Carl Olstrom, who pushes Lilly back just inside the Bradford half. Play the ball from Lilly. Goes down the middle here now with Aaron Murphy. Murphy brought down in a 3-man tackle. Bradford on the restart. They've gone 65 metres. The 35 metres out from the Whitehaven line. Goes towards Jordan Lilly. High hanging kick. Puts Jesse Joe Parker under pressure in the shade with the roof of the main stand there. And Jesse Joe Parker takes a high tackle from Brad England there underneath the Whitehaven post, and that is Whitehaven's 8th penalty. So we've had a high penalty count, a high set restart count here this afternoon, and Jesse Joe Parker just catching a stray arm there from Brad England, and that will allow Whitehaven to find touch over on this main stand side. For Bradford next week, don't forget they're away at Swinton. That of course is due to Toulouse having to play Widnes at Swinton, so it's an early start for us next Sunday, 11:45, but certainly Bradford looking to make it 3 wins in a row this afternoon. Got a bit of defending to do on this set of 6, a repeat set of 6 here for Whitehaven as Evans and England come in. This time that's perfectly legal. Quick play the ball there from Mossop to Newton to Cooper back to Newton inside the Bradford half. Newton still going forward. Fleming comes in and wraps up James Newton. Newton finally gets up and plays the ball there. 30 metres out from the Bradford line. It goes from Dixon to Williams. Williams kicks ahead. Bullman chasing. So too Taylor. Pickersgill's lost it forward. Defogging Johnson in an offside position. And that is a 9th penalty now to Whitehaven. That was something that the Bulls really couldn't control because Pickersgill was in an awkward position. Nicow Williams has tapped the ball without the referee pointing to where the mark is. And Bradford now really doing it tough here because we're approaching the hour mark and Whitehaven, they're looking for potentially their 3rd try in this game as it goes straight along the line from Michaels. Michaels to Cooper. Cooper's brought down 5 metres out. This will be a testing challenge for the Bulls. Oh, the referee's going to the back pocket here. Whitehaven have been awarded their 10th penalty of the game, and the referee is going back to the back pocket. He will stop the clock here. He's having a word with Levy Nzongu, who's only just come on the field. Levy Nzongu's protesting what's happening here. I've only just come on, and Levy Nzongu has just come on the field. Referee James Vella, back pocket, says Levy Nzongu, you have to go for 10. Luke Mawson, your thoughts on that? I can't. In fact, Levy Nzongu, well, yeah, it's Levy Nzongu who's got to go for 10. He's only just come on the field, and the referee is saying he's held down in the tackle, and it's 10 minutes in the bin. There was no team warning. We've seen numerous professional fouls from Whitehaven that have gone unpunished, and Bradford down to 12.
I can't speak. I'm absolutely astounded how he's got to that. And if he's got to that decision, and that is a yellow card sin bin offence, and fair enough, but there's 2 professional fouls down in this corner before that he doesn't do. And, you know, there's a Whitehaven player down here. It looks to be quite serious. So hopefully it's not. And he gets back up and gets well soon. But I just can't. I just can't quite establish how there's been a sin bin there for Levy Nzongu. But the referee's given it, and Bradford will now need to D this up and show some energy and make sure when he comes back on the pitch it's not a much worse scenario than it is now.
Well, the referee, James Vella, having a very, very concerned look here at Liam Cooper, who's down for Whitehaven. Well, the referee has sent Levy Nzongu to the sin bin. He'd only just come on the field, so Bradford are going to be down to 12 men for the next 10 minutes. A crucial period in this game here this afternoon. One fails because Whitehaven, a full set of 6 underneath the Bradford posts. 24 points to 10. It could change. Do stick around. We're not going anywhere this afternoon, and certainly with the social media blackout amongst the rugby league clubs, a couple of people have asked me during the week, was I taking part? Well, I did speak to the RFL, and they said that journalists and broadcasters do not have to take part. It's not mandatory, and certainly when I've got to share radio commentary links, it was inevitable that I could not take part. And like I say, I show my support with the movement that is taking place this weekend, where Premier League clubs, Super League clubs, Championship clubs, League One clubs, Rugby Union clubs, cricket clubs are all showing their support against discrimination and abuse on social media. Liam Cooper still receiving attention here at the recreation ground, so there will be a bit of time added on to the end of this game, but Liam Cooper gets to his feet. He's been given the all clear, and the former Widnes and St Helens man had a spell at Whitehaven on loan here in 2018, scoring 4 tries from his 18 appearances. So, can Whitehaven capitalise on some ill-discipline this afternoon from the Bradford Bulls? They have a full set of 6 in front of the Bradford post, and it will be the Irish international Ronan Michaels, and he will look to perhaps try and start a famous comeback here for Whitehaven. Still a lot of time on the clock. They only lead by 14 to the Bulls. Dixon, Williams, goes out wide. Chance for Holiday. Holiday wraps up. Gone backwards there from the initial tap penalty. Williams now looks for those runners. Misses out Michaels. Goes down the middle with Alstrom. Carl Alstrom's wrapped up. Ball's come loose, and that's great defence there from Brad England, because Bradford have won the ball back, and it was Brad England's thunderous tackle there, dislodging the ball, and that is Whitehaven's 4th error in this game here this afternoon. So we are fast approaching the hour mark here at the recreation ground. Whitehaven 10, Bradford 24, just a try apiece. Jesse Joe Parker at the start of the second half. Eben Skur 12 minutes later, and Bradford have just been awarded their 6th penalty of the afternoon because Whitehaven are guilty inside the 10, and that is a penalty 30 metres out from the Bradford line. And Danny Brough will fire this deep inside the Whitehaven half, and Bradford are 40 metres out from the Whitehaven line with a full set of 6. Certainly going to be an interesting final 20 minutes here, because we've just hit the hour mark on West Yorkshire Rugby League and Bulls TV. Mick Gledhill, Luke Mawson, Bradford 4 tries, Whitehaven 2. It's 24 points to 10 as here goes Eben Skur. He goes down the middle channel, and Eben Skur is brought down 30 metres out here for the Bradford Bulls. Whitehaven just have to put their backs towards the wall here as Dan Fleming carries Bradford inside the Whitehaven 20 metre line. They're just ever so slightly to the left of centre field. In at dummy half there is Doyle. Doyle to Brough. Brough to Lilly. Lilly to Rooks. And Rooks is brought down on tackle number 4. Don't forget Bradford, they have a numerical disadvantage with Levy Nzongo in the bin. Brough now towards Lilly. Lilly to Doyle. Lovely rugby league there as Doyle goes close, and Doyle's rolled over with a line in sight. Last tackle for the Bulls. It goes to Danny Brough, to Jordan Lilly. Jordan Lilly, a chance here for Ross Oakes. Ross Oakes held up over the line. Chance gone begging for the Bulls, but that much better. And when you consider they have the numerical advantage, Whitehaven 10, Bradford 24 is what the scoreboard says. And as we said, we hope Liam Cooper is okay. He's receiving treatment over on the far stand side under the shade of the main stand, so hopefully nothing too serious. I might have got that wrong when I watch it back on the replay, but it certainly appeared from the referee's gesture that Levy Nzongo had held down in the tackle, and up to that point Bradford had conceded 3 consecutive penalties, but one of those was the Pickersgill kick, Defogging Johnson in front, so hardly worthy of 10 minutes in the bin. But Bradford hungry, pushing the Whitehaven player into touch over on the far stand side. The ball's come loose. Lilly has it. Ball's been stolen. Referee says forward pass now off Whitehaven. Bradford have a set restart, and they will have the ball 40 metres out from that Whitehaven try line. And Bradford now know with less than 20 minutes remaining, we make it 18 minutes remaining here, Bradford have a chance now to put this game to bed, because as we saw in previous weeks, Whitehaven, they do certainly give a good account of themselves up to the hour mark. Last week against Featherstone, they conceded 28 unanswered points in the final 20 minutes. Is Lightning about to strike tries? So from that 40 metre set restart, Eben Skur, tackle 1. Good tackle there from Carl Alstrom. He's been a real talisman presence, the 28-year-old here at the recreation ground. Bradford right in front of the Whitehaven post. It goes now towards Lilly on the short side. Lilly darts through. He's offloaded the ball. It's been picked off by Lachlan Walmsley. Lachlan Walmsley, what a tackle that was. It was Tom Doyle who had Lachlan Walmsley by the shorts, and Lachlan Walmsley is brought down, but Bradford at 6s and 7s as they have to try and get their defensive stall back as Nico Williams has gone on a break and he's found Ronan Michaels in support. Aaron Murphy tries to steal the ball 1-on-1. Murphy is laying on there on Ronan Michaels, and it's another set restart. That's 6 set restarts to Whitehaven now, and Whitehaven with 17 minutes remaining on the clock, they're down by 14. This is not going to be a big win for the Bulls that some might have expected. It's going to be real tight and tasteful as it goes back down the middle channel again. Good defence from Fleming. Whitehaven right in front of the post, and Dan Fleming has taken the ball out of the Whitehaven player's arms, and Carl Dixon, the standoff half there for Whitehaven, is saying that should be a penalty. The tackle was completed. Carl Dixon walks away disgusted. Dan Fleming saves the Bulls' day. Whitehaven have come up with their 5th error, and that will be a play the ball for the Bulls 10 metres out from the road. Try line, Luke Mawson. It's getting a little bit scrappy, similar to what we saw last week against Dewsbury, but so far so good for the Bulls. They have kept their line intact with their 12 men.
Yeah, I think just before the ball was offloaded on the Whitehaven line for that break, I was just going to say it was almost a perfect Must be a 6 again, referee. Some players, it's a penalty to Bradford as some heads come together here. The referee has just started to lose control of this one on the back of some decisions, and Bradford penalty, eat up the time while Levy's in the bin. Certainly will suit John Keir, but apart from that silly offload down the Whitehaven line, this has been the perfect way to defend with 12 men. Keep the ball in the Whitehaven half, force the errors, take the men into touch, control the speed of the game, wind the clock down. Not too much damage done so far, apart from a bit of energy sapping from a Bradford perspective.
Well, referee James Vella has had enough and he's going to call out the Whitehaven captain here. Also, Steve Crossley is going to be spoken to. I'm just looking at the penalty count. Whitehaven, 11 penalties, 7 set restarts. Bradford have had 7 penalties and 3 set restarts. When you add it all up, we've nearly 30 penalties or 30 offences for ill discipline, and we've still got 15 minutes left. That's not good enough, and you can excuse the referee. Ultimately, it's the players from both sides, Luke.
Yeah, you can't blame fatigue either, because we're still in the fresher parts of the game. Just 20 minutes after half time, and it's just if it's concentration or if it's attitude, but far too many penalties from a Bradford perspective as well, and can't afford to do that in this division. And luckily, from a Bradford perspective, there was enough points on the board to start doing that, but it's not something you want to get into a habit of doing, and it'll certainly be an area for improvement. But if you're winning games and can still improve, then you're not doing too bad. So, although it is a negative, as I say, if you can still get points on the board whilst performing like this or giving away certain penalties and aspects of the game, then you're not too bad. And if you can fix them up, you'll take some stopping.
Adam Rooks is brought down 10 metres out from that Whitehaven try line. Bradford looking for that crucial 5th try that probably puts this game to bed. Brough delayed pass towards Murphy. Murphy over the Whitehaven line, and he's held up and will go back to the 10 metre line, and this will be the 5th and last tackle here for the Bradford Bulls. As we said, James Vella, he does like the 6 a game. When Bradford had him in their 50-12 defeat against Sheffield, there was a similar amount of 6 a games. We've had 9 so far this afternoon, and Bradford on the last tackle. It goes to Danny Brough, kicks one through, looking for Pickersgill. Wormsley's lost it. Pickersgill's picked it up, is it? Or is it, in fact, Steve Crossley? Steve Crossley has dived on the ball, and the Bradford Bulls captain has 2 tries, and that has come off the back of an error from Lachlan Wormsley. It was Danny Brough's kick. There was a real schmozzle in that in-goal area, and it is Whitehaven 10, Bradford Bulls 28. And Bradford still have Levy and Zongo in the sin bin, so they have scored the only points with that numerical advantage. When that ball went through, and Lachlan Wormsley, the fullback for Whitehaven, had knocked the ball on, only their 6th error of the afternoon. Crossley, Pickersgill, they were closest to react, and it was Steve Crossley who scooped the ball up and rolled over the line for his 2nd try, and Bradford's 5th of the afternoon. The kick predictor at 100% here for Danny Brough. He's surely going to go out to 5 from 5, and this is going to open up a 4-score advantage for the Bradford Bulls this afternoon, because it is Whitehaven 10, Bradford Bulls 30, Luke Mawson, and this is looking more like it.
Yeah, it's not been too bad a 10 minutes with Levy in the bin for a Bradford perspective, and Steve Crossley coming onto the pitch for Dan Fleming, who picked up a knock, forcing that error early, running the play. And with a captain's knock coming onto the pitch for his 2nd, and he's rivaling Eben Skur for top try scorer this year. Both off the nudie, so they'll be happy with that. But with 15 minutes left, 30 points to 10, the next 5 minutes are crucial in this one.
Whitehaven, a very long, lofty restart, fielded by Lilly in the Bradford in-goal area. Immediately turns and gives it to Skur. Skur's brought down 18 metres out from the Bradford try line. If you're just joining us, we've got 12 minutes remaining, plus any additional time. There was an injury to Liam Cooper, and it's Whitehaven 10, Bradford 30. Try scorers for the Bulls this afternoon: Steve Crossley with 2, Joe Brown, Brandon Pickersgill, and Eben Skur, his 2nd try. His 1st ever try in the league. He scored his 1st Bradford Bulls try in that defeat against Featherstone a couple of months ago. But here we are in round 4. Bradford comfortable now, looking to go back to back to back. 3 wins on the bounce. And another interesting game next week against Swinton. Whitehaven, well, they travel to face Oldham. Bradford on the restart, 5 shy of halfway with Aaron Murphy. Murphy's brought down on that last tackle, rolled back. Mark Dunning, the assistant coach, yells 6 again. Referee ignores Mark Dunning's pleas. Danny Brough kicks into space. Great game management there. And Levi Nzongu has got the all clear from the 4th official. So Levi Nzongu back out there. And while Bradford had that numerical disadvantage, they were down to 12 men for Levi Nzongu's infringement in and around the ruck. That saw Liam Cooper leave the field. Bradford extended their lead. They scored 6 points, a try, a second of the afternoon to Steve Crossley, and Danny Brough 5 from 5, now kicking at 96%. And with each goal kick, that percentage will just nudge up slightly. He won't ever get to 100 because he's already missed one this season in the league, but just shows you what a goal kicker can do. Whitehaven 5 shy of halfway here. They've got to try and do something inside the final 10 minutes as it just goes down the middle there with Tom Walker. He's another one of these players that's played at all the Cumbrian clubs, Barrow, Workington, and now at Whitehaven. And Levi Nzongu just down with a bit of discomfort in the tackle here, and he's holding that left knee, and this could be a bit of concern here for John Keir and the Bradford Bulls because Levi Nzongu is in a lot of pain here. The Bradford Bulls club doctor and physio, everyone's wearing the PPE here as the sun continues to blaze down here at the recreation ground. And this is not a good sign, Luke Mawson. Levi Nzongu, he really has had a real impact in the last couple of games, none more so than his workmanlike performance and his contribution in the back-to-back wins over Halifax and Dewsbury. But he's down there on the halfway line in a considerable amount of pain. Hopefully this is nothing serious, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, Levy was someone who, left out of that Featherstone game in the Cup, and instead of sulking about it, he's worked really hard and forced his way back into the side, and he's made a massive impact. And he'd just come back onto the field, and a couple of tackles later he's taken an injury. And when you see the physios reach for the back of the knee these days with all the MCLs, the ACLs, the PCLs, it's never a good sign. And there's certainly a lot of cause for concern for Levy out there. And he's a fantastic bloke. He's a real character, I can tell you that. And hopefully it's nothing too serious, but he certainly looks in a great deal of pain right now.
Well, got to be said, Bradford not blessed with forwards, and Levi Nzongu is still down in a lot of pain here. John Keir has left his position, and he's gone right down to the front row of the main stand on the far stand side here, and he's just speaking to the Bradford Bulls physio, and Levi Nzongu will leave the field. I'm just looking at that left leg there. He is walking on it, putting a bit of pressure, so it's looking like it might not be as serious as first thought. And Levi Nzongu just leaving the field here under his own weight. That's always a good sign, but perhaps a little bit of concern here that the French international, or certainly he hopes to be a French international with the World Cup coming in October and November. He leaves the field here with 10 minutes remaining, so that is going to be a bit of concern, and we'll have to speak to John Keir after the game to find out just how serious that is. Whitehaven restart. It's not the last tackle, but they're going to send one down to Pickersgill. Williams straight into the air there. Pickersgill alert to the danger. Pickersgill takes tackle number 1, 22 metres out from his own try line. Defogging Johnston now. Had a bit of a quiet afternoon in attack. He certainly had a contribution in the first half in defence, bundling Andy Bullman into touch. And I think when we reflect on this game, it's been very hard working, and the Bulls have had to roll up the sleeves and almost like washing all the Sunday dinners after a Sunday roast. But here goes Ben Evans, who carries on tackle free. He's come on for Levi Nzongu. Levi Nzongu being treated by the doctor on the sideline. John Keir having another look to make sure Levi Nzongu is okay. Bradford 5 inside the Whitehaven half centre field position on that fifth and last tackle. Doyle goes to Brough. Brough plays the ball off the Whitehaven man. That's come off a Bradford arm. Referee says still it's the last. Kick comes in here, straight down the throat of Wormsley. Wormsley deals with that one. It was Tom Doyle who got the kick away in the end. He didn't know much about it. did young Tom Doyle, but certainly very efficient to get the kick away. Didn't want to be caught on halfway with ball in hand, and now Whitehaven are moving the ball out from deep. Second tackle gone, 15 shy of the halfway line. Aidan Roden back out there. He's one of the lawnees from the Super League clubs. Ronan Michaels from Huddersfield, Aidan Roden from the Wigan Warriors. Roden, Dixon now. Misses out Dawson. Goes out wide towards Walker. Ball back in centre field. Another chance now for Walker. Good tackle there on Tom Walker. Walker, a big physical presence there. The 35 metres out centre field. It goes towards Dixon. Dixon meets Rooks, puts a fend on, does Dixon, can't get past Eben Skur. Eben Skur, huge contribution in defence there. Last tackle for Whitehaven, kick comes in from Aidan Roden. That one's dealt with by Joe Brown. Joe Brown does exceptionally well. Great game management and great awareness there from Joe Brown to deal with the dangers of that kick that was put in behind the Bulls' defensive line. And with 8 minutes remaining, Bradford now are just going to move the ball out from their own 20-metre line as Ross Oakes has lost the ball. Two Whitehaven players in that tackle. Ross Oakes, Whitehaven protesting that there was only one, but clearly there was two. Referee James Vella right in front of that one. And a chance here now for Danny Brough to fire this ball into touch. It just goes above our head from our commentary position on the open terrace here at the recreation ground. It's a lovely bank holiday Sunday afternoon here. Fun in the sun up here on the West Cumbrian Peninsula. Right, Joe Brown, tackle one on halfway. Quick play the ball. Can Bradford get a sixth try and more points to close out this game? They lead by 20. Another ball stolen, this time by James Newton. James Newton's pinched it off of Adam Rooks. Luke Mawson says it was more 2-on-1 than the other one. And, well, James Vella losing a little bit of control in this one, but time slowly ebbing away as once again Tom Walker has a huge challenge just inside the Bulls half. Here goes Rodin towards Williams. Williams out wide to Bullman. Bullman's away. Pickersgill comes across. He goes past Pickersgill, although Pickersgill has come up with a try-saving tackle. What a try-saving tackle from Brandon Pickersgill. He just pushed Andy Bullman with all his pressure and might. Pickersgill's gone down over the sideline. I think it's just a little bit of cramp, but Luke Mawson, Pickersgill, he probably didn't realise what he'd done, but Pickersgill just nudged Bullman. Bullman must have put a foot in touch because Bullman went down towards the try line in the corner. That it will not count. Pickersgill try-saving tackle.
Yeah, that'll do his confidence a world of good. Just when he looked like Bullman had raced clear, a little bit of an ankle tap and a hoof from Pickersgill just took him into touch, and he's just seen his legs stretched out now. A bit of cramp, hardly surprising after the minutes and the efforts of these Bradford players, and he's fit to return to play as Ben Evans comes onto the field as Bradford's final substitution for Brad England. So great defensive effort from Brandon Pickersgill. We've seen a few of those edge players with some really good defensive efforts to force men into touch this afternoon, and it's been what's ultimately been the difference.
Well, there's going to be a fair few minutes of time added on at the end of this one, but Bradford up to their own 40-metre line. I tell you what, I'm thinking Steve Crossley man of the match, not just for the 2 tries, but once again he's done 60-plus minutes out there on the field, and he's been asked to, is he okay to continue with Levi Nzongo off the field? But here he is, Steve Crossley, leading by example. He's an absolute machine. Last tackle for Bradford. Bradford have another player down, and it's young Eben Skur this time, and he's holding the left thigh. And this is another concerning injury if Eben Skur has to leave the field. Luke Mawson, it's been a tough physical battle up here, but we've got 5 minutes left on the clock. Who is your Bulls TV, West Yorkshire Rugby League, man of the match, and why?
Great question. I think Eben Skur or Steve Crossley for me. Eben Skur's had a really good long sustained impact, but I think 2 tries, captain's knock again from Steve Crossley, long minutes. Eben Skur just hobbling off the pitch. I don't think it's anything overly serious, but could just be a bit of a dead leg from contact there. But Steve Crossley will be my Bulls live man of the match. 2 tries, another long stint, and with Levy in the bin, he comes out and delivers a real captain's knock. So full credit to Steve Crossley again. He's a real captain's innings, and he's epitomised Bradford's revival over the last 3-4 weeks.
I've just been approached by a Whitehaven director, Luke, and he said, "Who's your number 18?" I said, "He's Eben Skir." He says, "What's the deal with him then?"
Keep your hands off.
I said, "Hands off." Lily's kick's been charged down. Whitehaven knock the ball on. Bradford have a fresh set of 6 on halfway, and unfortunately for Whitehaven, Andy Dawson could not take that one in, and we've got 4 minutes remaining now on the clock, and it's no secret Eben Skir out of contract at the end of the year. Yes, there is a bit of interest from Super League clubs. It's up to the Bradford Bulls though to match his aspirations, and certainly expect an improved contract offer and length of contract, and Eben Skir, fingers crossed, will stay at the Bradford Bulls for many more years to come. As we said, his run captain Steve Crossley close with the man of the match vote this afternoon, and here goes Steve Crossley. Look at that, 10 metres Steve Crossley, and that was after contact. He had 2 Whitehaven players around his ankles. Here goes Doyle, now to Lily to Evans with a line break, looks for support on the inside. England's knocked it on with the line open. Oh, Brad England, he's got his hand on his head. He knows he's dropped a boo-boo there. And Brad England, the former Doncaster man, if he takes that in, he's underneath the post, and that is good night Vienna. Unfortunately, with a couple of minutes left here, it remains Whitehaven 10, Bradford 30.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Hollywood ball from Reece there, really. I don't know if we needed to force the issue there, or just quick play the ball in the bin for a strolling, but tried forcing the issue, similar to a play against Dewsbury last weekend, where Dan Fleming tried to find Brad England and ball went to ground. Just trying to do that miracle ball when it's not really needed at times. But is it confidence over confidence? We just need to D it up and see this game out. But you're better off making those errors at 30 points to 10 up if you are going to make them. So, and a really good defensive hit up there from Reece Evans.
Well, it's only Bradford's 5th error of the afternoon, so perhaps we can forgive him. But here come Whitehaven now with Mossop to Parker. He's immediately wrapped up there, but Parker somehow manages to get the ball out despite the attention of Lily and England, and he's got it in centre field to Walmsley, but Lachlan Walmsley wrapped up there by Ben Evans and Steve Crossley. Whitehaven on the 5th and last tackle. We have played 80 minutes here, so we're into time added on at the end of this game as Dixon kicks out a dummy half. Pickersgill might just kick this one dead. In fact, Pickersgill will field it. Oh, and Pickersgill is took an arm across the face in the in-goal area. The touch judge comes on, and is just going to say, nope, it wasn't malicious, it was a slap. And Brandon Pickersgill concedes Bradford's 3rd goal line dropout of the afternoon. Perhaps it should have been a penalty, Luke Mawson.
He just had his head taken off. We saw a penalty given for that about 20 minutes ago down at the other end. So, I know he slipped, but it was still a swinging arm into the player. And but that's just me. It hasn't been given. 4 minutes left in this one. Drop out. Goes 30 metres, and Bradford will want to hold firm these final few minutes and keep the scoreboard at an impressive 30 points to 10. I don't think anyone can be too disgruntled with the scoreboard as it stands.
Bradford just going through the motions here in the dying embers of this one. They'll want to keep their line intact. Once again, their best defensive performance of the season thus far. And this will be an improvement on what happened last week against Dewsbury. But they're going to be tested in the final moments of this match. Walmsley fires that one out to Taylor. Taylor twisting and turning, can't offload the ball. Oakes comes in and wraps up Chris Taylor there. He has a lot of experience for Whitehaven. As we said, one of their longest serving players. Back in centre field now with Williams. Williams gives the ball to Dawson. Dawson, head down, can't get past Lily, Crossley and England. 4th tackle gone here for Whitehaven. They're down by 20 points. Aidan Roden kicks it through, and Reece Evans is offside. And that will be Whitehaven's 12th penalty in this game this afternoon. And stuff like that you really can't control, because the young hooker on loan from Wigan, Aidan Roden, just put a little kick in there, and a Bradford leg kicked it forward. Reece Evans had to stop the try, and he was in an offside position. Can Whitehaven get their 3rd try? I think their effort and endeavour this afternoon suspects they will try their damnedest as a lovely reverse pass on the inside there from Dixon. We'll see Dawson once again held up 2 metres out underneath the post. Roden's in there at dummy half. It goes to Dixon, to Walmsley. They'll cross in the corner with Mossop. Mossop goes between Pickersgill and Brad England, and Whitehaven do have their third try here, and it's Whitehaven 14, Bradford 30. We're into the 3rd minute of time added on at the end of this game this afternoon, and Whitehaven, as we said, they're like a stray dog at the moment when it's looking for somewhere to go. It's just following you home, and in the 80th minute here, that is a well-worked try, and Lee Mossop, well, he'll be quite pleased with that one. As we said, a great try over on this left-hand side, and he'll be pleased that his younger brother, Jason Mossop, has crossed out wide in the corner. Another difficult assignment for Lachlan Walmsley. In fact, I think all his conversion attempts this afternoon have been in difficult positions, but Whitehaven 14, Bradford 30. This could be the final act of the game. Lachlan Walmsley. That one will go between the posts and over that black dot. We're out, of course, inside the final 5 minutes, and the referee has stopped the clock. Well, we're into time added on, but Liam Cooper and Levi Nzongu were the players who will see a couple of minutes of added on time, because the stopwatch says 44 minutes so far this second half, but of course we don't stop the stopwatch when the game's in progress. Luke Mawson, just your thoughts on that try. I think that's the least Whitehaven deserve here.
Yeah, they've never given up in this game. It's certainly been a real struggle throughout, but 30 points to 16, certainly not a scoreline that any Bradford fans can be disheartened with. It has been a real arm wrestling for Bradford to be, still not at the best, and grinding these wins out is key at this stage, and certainly be good for the confidence, as conceding 3 tries last week, 3 tries this week. But if you're going to put 30 points on the board, then they'd be more than happy with that. So a lot of room for improvement still in this Bradford side, but that's 3 wins on the bounce, or it looks to be 3 wins on the bounce. I don't think a team will ever score 3 tries in the last minute of a game, but it looks like 3 wins on the bounce, and plenty of room for improvements. Exciting times.
Well, we're into time added on. We've now had 6 minutes of additional time as Whitehaven kick the ball ahead, and the referee's going to give another penalty here to Whitehaven, because Aaron Murphy is adjudged to have taken out a Whitehaven player. So we've seen 13 penalties to Whitehaven, 8 to Bradford, and we've had 9 set restarts. It's been one of those afternoons, unfortunately, this afternoon. We've had 29 infringements if you include the set restarts and the penalties. So a bit of a stop-start game, that. That was Nico Williams, the chip over the top. Aaron Murphy adjudged to have taken the young scrum half out, and Whitehaven, with a hooter sounding, will tap the ball 20 metres out. Final play of the game, Gillam to Walmsley. Walmsley out wide to Parker. Parker's going in at the corner, kicks over the top. Try time here for Aidan Rodin, and Whitehaven will score a freakish try on the power play. There looked to be a forward pass from Gillam to Jesse Joe Parker. Parker went towards the corner. He drew in Pickersgill and Evans. He kicked ahead over the top. There was nothing that Ben Evans could do. He tried to regather the ball, and it was the young hooker, Aidan Rodin, 20 years of age. He's on loan from the Wigan Warriors, and he's touched down right to the left-hand side of the post. And those 2 late tries from Whitehaven might perhaps give this scoreboard a bit of a skewed look, but Bradford will make it back-to-back wins, 3 wins on the bounce, and certainly there was an element of fortuitous luck in that try there for Whitehaven. Less said about the pass, Luke Mawson.
It was that far forward, it nearly ended up in Workington, did that one, dearie me. But, it's not 2 points these days, is it? It's points percentage and all that, but... And, a 3rd win on the bounce for Bradford anyway, and Whitehaven have really been up for this one, and Bradford will know they've been in a game when they wake up tomorrow as the referee blows his whistle for the final time. I'm sure that whistle will need a clean out after this one. Bradford Bulls 30, Whitehaven 22.